Yohanan answered them, saying, I baptize with water, but there standeth one among you whom you know not. He it is, who cometh after me is preferred before me, whose shoe latchets I am not worthy to unloose. These things were done in Bethabara, beyond Jordan, where Yohanan was baptizing. The next day Yohanan seen Yahshua coming unto him, and said, Behold the Lamb of Yah, which taketh away the sin of the world.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Our selection today, Behold the Lamb of Yah.
The oracles of the UCI. 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you are sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you up on earth. Therefore, let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you, to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. When you talk about what Yahshua was, he was an acceptable oblation, an acceptable body had to be found to hold the spirit of Elohim and to be offered up to redeem man, to put man back on that course. And if you're dealing with a regular man, then you would have one man for one man. So then we know that it had to be something special than just a man for one man to be an acceptable offering for all of mankind. Now, an oblation is defined as something brought near the altar or sacrificial present. The Hebrew word for oblation is korban. We can find this Old Testament term written in New Testament writings. In Mark chapter 7, verses 9 through 13, Yahshua states to the scribes and Pharisees, full well you reject the commandment of Elohim, that you may keep your own tradition. For Moshe said, honor your father and your mother, and whoso curses father or mother, let him die to death. But you say, if a man shall say to his father or mother, it is korban, that is to say, a gift, by whatsoever you might have been profited by me, he shall be free. And you suffer him no more to do aught for his father or his mother, making the word of Elohim of none effect through your tradition. So what was Yahshua talking about? There is the rule of law that Yahweh has set forth. whoso curses father or mother, let him die to death. But the Pharisees were in the place of receiving offerings. So if they received a certain offering, then it was okay for that individual to go aside and not do the other things that are contained in the law. This is where we have to learn where the spirit of the law is magnified. There will be situations and circumstances that we will have to examine. It won't just be as easy as the law says thus, the law said this. There are going to be situations and circumstances that we're going to have to examine on a case-by-case basis. And we find that when we go through this book, that there was no law concerning women being able to inherit land. And then the situation came forth where you had a man who passed away and had nothing but daughters. They had to then alter the law based upon that. Then something else had to be instituted in the law that said, hey, if these women receive this land, if they're allowed to marry anybody, then the land has now left the tribe and goes to whatever tribe of the man that they marry. So then a certain part of the law had to be adjusted to make sure that the land stayed in the tribe. So then this tribal marriage part had to be strictly enforced, especially upon any woman that inherited land. That way the land would not change from tribe to tribe. But there was a situation and a circumstance that presented itself. And we have to be careful about when situation and circumstances arise, how do we deal with those things? Are we dealing with it according to the law, or are we going over the law or bypassing it to deal with that particular situation? Now, the spirit of the law lies in between three things. Those three things are the law, the specific circumstances, and the intentions of the heart. The rule of law is just the beginning of the thing. A prudent judge of matters has to meditate on the specific circumstances, which then gives a look into the secret intentions of man's heart. Let's begin today's sermon in Psalms chapter 19. Psalms 19, and we're going to read verses 1 through 14.
The heavens declare the glory of Elohim, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Day unto day utters speech, and night unto night shows knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them has he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoice as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it, and there's nothing hid from the heat thereof. The law of Yahweh is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of Yahweh is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of Yahweh are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of Yahweh is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of Yahweh is clean, enduring forever. The judgment of Yahweh are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, yes, than much fine gold. Sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb.
So if there are more to be desired than gold, we have to consider, how do we go after riches? Look at the effort in which we put into those things. Look at the effort in which we put into saving those things. The effort that we put into magnifying the things that we already have. We want to make it safe. We want to make it secure. We pick what bank we're going to put our money in. When we get something good, we find a nice, secure place to put it. So if somebody kick in the door, they won't get right to this. You make several layers for those things, several layers of protection for those things. Consider that when we think about these things. Go ahead.
Moreover, by them is your servant warned, and in keeping of them there's great reward. Who can understand his errors? Cleanse you me from secret faults.
It might be a secret fault that's there, and it might take quite some time for you to even see that, or for it to be revealed unto you and you accept it. It might be that somebody has to reveal that 3 or 4 times before you look at it and say, you know, I do believe I am dealing with this in an incorrect manner. Because see, that first time, your feelings is what answer. If you learn to put the feelings aside, then the Spirit can answer. Go ahead.
Keep back your servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion over me.
Let them not have dominion over me. When something has dominion over you, it's deciding what you're going to do. If you have a strong sense of anger, the anger drives you. Afterwards, you sit up and look and say, look at what I've done. You are in no more control of the deciding elements of that situation. Why? Because one thing kicked in. And once that anger kicked in, if that's the thing that controls you, it's going to drive everything else and then give you back to yourself when it's done. Now you are considering afterward. Go ahead.
Then shall I be upright, and I shall be innocent from the great transgression. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Yahweh, my strength and my Redeemer.
Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight. The greatest offering that we can offer unto Elohim is a humble and a contrite spirit. But how do we get to that? See, there's situations and circumstances that are going to present itself that's going to get us there. If you think that you're just going, you're just going to sit in a quiet place in your house and just hum yourself to humbleness and contriteness, you got another thing coming. See, it's going to be some situation and circumstances that's going to come upon your life that's going to push you to that point. We all like to believe that we can do all these great things without anything happening. But if we put it all out there on the table, if we all had our houses and cars paid for, how many of y'all would get up and still go to work? Right, there's too much chuckling going on. Right. There's something that drives that getting up every morning. And we get off into that routine and we go. Once you do it so long, you don't even need the alarm clock. Your body know it's 4:55. One eye open and it's looking for the clock. Yep, 4:55. Clock don't go off to 5. You 5 minutes before the clock. That means that thing has been burned into your spirit repetitively, and now your spirit is taking over. Time to get up. How you know that? You ain't seen no clock. You ain't seen no light outside. How does your body wake you up before? It gets accustomed to the things that it's supposed to do. Now, what if you get that body accustomed to doing wrong? Then it does the same thing. You do right for too long, your body starts revolting. No, this is not what we're supposed to be doing. But surely we should have been in some kind of debauchery by now. Then that means you got to fight that long enough for something else to be repetitive in your spirit. Let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 24. One of the biggest issues you find with some people dealing in this word is they do not like a situation of the body of Yahshua being brought forth in a way in which it did not come through the regular meeting between a man and a woman. They cannot allow, their brains cannot go past a non-physical relationship between a man and a woman producing a child. Yet we can easily look at a situation of artificial insemination. There's so many people that have gone through that. I mean, we all done seen a result of a interracial marriage. You see a black man, a white woman, vice versa, you know what the kid look like. Michael Jackson got all white kids. Now, we know that that's not physically possible. Okay? So, they told us, yeah, the woman was inseminated. Yeah, she was. But it wasn't with his seed. She was inseminated with another seed, because those are 100% all Caucasian children. That didn't come from no joining. So, this is completely, he just completely changed his ethnic lineage right there. So he just bought himself some people. When we deal with Yahshua having to the spirit of Israel having to enter into a body, that child was brought forth not out of the regular means between a man and a woman. I don't know why that is so difficult for people to understand. But when your mind has a brick wall, no matter what you throw at it, it's just going to bounce at that brick wall until you move that wall. 2 Samuel chapter 24, and let's read verses 19 through 25.
And Dawid, according to the saying of Gad, went up as Yahweh commanded. And Arnah looked, and saw the king and his servants coming on toward him. And Arnah went out, and bowed himself before the king on his face upon the ground. And Arnah said, Wherefore is my master the king come to his servant?
Now, why are you coming here? Jump back up, read verse 18.
And Gad came that day to Dawid, and said unto him, Go up, rear an altar unto Yahweh in the threshing floor of Arnah the Jebusite.
Right. So then he know where these things stopped. Where the plague stopped, where you see the angel stay his hand, he's making a point that this is a place that you need to deal with. All right, go back.
And Dawid said, To buy the threshing floor of you, to build an altar unto Yahweh, that the plague may be stayed from the people. And Arnah said unto Dawid, Let my master the king take and offer up what seems good unto him. Behold, here be oxen for burnt sacrifice, and threshing instruments and other instruments of the oxen for wood. All these things did Arnah as a king give unto the king. And Arnah said unto the king, Yahweh your Elohim accept you.
Right. Now, we would look at a situation like that and say, man, we are blessed. He gonna give me this stuff. Go ahead.
And the king said unto Arnah, No, but I will surely buy it off you at a price. Neither will I offer burnt offerings unto Yahweh my Elohim of that which does cost me nothing.
Right. So now a level has been set here. An offering is not an offering if it doesn't cost you anything. Any amount of time that we offer costs us something. He said, I can't even go to my Elohim. This offering is already blemished if I let you give it to me and then I give it to him. Go ahead.
So Dawid bought the threshing floor and the oxen for 50 shekels of silver. And Dawid built there an altar unto Yahweh and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. So Yahweh was entreated for the land, and the plague was stayed from Israel.
Now, what if he didn't fully follow that? See, Dawid is being shown something, but what if he just goes and allows that to be given unto him, and then Yahweh doesn't accept the offering? If he doesn't accept the oblation, the plague then stays among the children of Israel. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 11. Hebrews 11, and let's read verses 1 through 4.
Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Elohim, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. By faith Abel offered unto Elohim a more excellent sacrifice than Cain.
Now, by faith, Abel offered unto Elohim a more excellent sacrifice than Cain. It didn't say he offered a more valuable sacrifice. So Yahweh is not necessarily interested in quantity, it's the quality. Sometimes the quality directly connects to quantity because of the things that he has given unto you. But here, by faith, Abel offered unto Elohim a more excellent sacrifice than Cain. Keep reading.
By which he obtained witness that he was righteous.
His offering set forth to Elohim that he was righteous. Go ahead.
Elohim testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaks.
So the quality of his offering made a statement about his righteousness. Let's go to Genesis chapter 4. Let's get the specific details. Genesis chapter 4, and we're going to read verses 1 through 16.
And Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I've gotten a man from Yahweh. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto Yahweh.
And it came in the process of time. Go ahead.
And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And Yahweh had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
Yahweh respected his offering. Verse 4, and Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. So you first of all have a difference in timing. Okay? Who's to say, it was mentioned first that in the process of time, verse 3, that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto Yahweh. In the process of time. So, what was that process of time? He had already supplied for himself. He had already supplied everything that he thought he needed, and then he gave Yahweh of his leftovers. Yahweh did not accept it. He did not respect it. Now, the timing here, and Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock. Now, if he has the firstlings of his flock, his period of time then is going to be different. These animals are not going to reproduce at the same rate that this fruit going to grow. So now, each one has their own process of time, but he brought the firstlings, which is the first of his increase. He did not wait until after he has secured everything for his house, everything that his wife needs, everything. See, this is how we do everything. We're going to secure everything in the house, and then the change we got, we'll spend that on dealing with things that may have something to do with Yahweh. But then when it comes down for us, we want Yahweh to stop everything he's doing. And we want to be the first to receive our healing when we go through something. Then we want to know what took you so long, Yahweh. I called you last Thursday. Well, I was taking care of everything else. How you do me? We said we had some work to do for the sanctuary. Where were you? Well, I had to go see a cat about a dog. Okay. Well, that's the same thing I'm going to do when you get sick. I'm going to go see a cat about a dog. And I might make it back around to you in time. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Go ahead.
But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. And Yahweh said unto Cain,
Now, did he get angry after his brother's offering was accepted? Or did he get angry after his was not? Because it mentions him first. See, this is our system of dealing with things. Is it because yours was not accepted? Would you have been cool if his wasn't accepted too? What is the real source of the anger? And if you're confused about this concept, anybody who's got more than one kid, go in there and pass out some potato chips and watch how they looking. They're not really concerned about the amount of potato chips that they have. They are really concerned at the amount of potato chips that their brother or sister has. Here go their potato chip. They're not even looking. Now here come the negotiation. Well, Daddy, I mean, I don't understand why she got more than me. I mean, she older. She not that much bigger though. I mean, surely I can eat just as many chips as she can. Right. Go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto Cain, Why are you angry?
Why are you angry? Go ahead.
And why is your countenance fallen? If you does well, shall you not be accepted?
Now, right here, this is where you can watch the new parents falter. Right here. If you do well, shall you not be accepted? See, when you're a new parent, you just think everything your baby do is absolutely wonderful. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. Look at it. Oh my goodness. No. I need. Hold on. Let me spend some time right here. Look here. If you do well, shall you not be accepted? If you accept everything, how is it well? Some people say, I don't like to disappoint my kids. See, I don't want to tell them anything disappointing because it may hurt them inside. If you do well, shall you not be accepted? Should I accept it even when you don't do well so that I might not hurt thy feelings? Well, if you got a problem with that, you damn sure going to have a problem when you meet your God. Because I can tell you how he operates. And I don't have to guess about it because it's written in his book. I know how he operates. Keep reading.
And if you does not well, sin lies at the door.
If you are not doing well, I can tell you, here come a problem. Go ahead.
And unto you shall be his desire, and you shall rule over him.
Mm-hmm.
And Cain talked with Abel his brother. And it came to pass.
Now he already has a warning. Something going on in your heart. I can tell by the anger of your non-acceptance. There's something going on in your heart right now. He took that, brushed it off, and kept on going. Because he still is about to implement his plan of anger. Go ahead.
And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and slew him. And Yahweh said unto Cain, Where is Abel your brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?
Mm-hmm.
And he said,
Now you start to understand why the offering was not accepted. Was these the kind of things that was in the heart that caused him not to give the first of his offering anyway? Look at how quick he was able to go there. I know not, lie. Second lie, am I my brother's keeper? So not only did he lie, then he has indignation against his creator. Now the question is, was bits and pieces of that already there? See, did the situation bring out something that was already in there. See, a lot of times people say, well, you know, this got into me because of that. No. That ain't how it got into you. That's how it got out of you. No, it got in you somewhere else. No, this is what brought it out. Now, we're going to have to examine a little bit to figure out how it got in. No, this just brought it out. Go ahead.
You know, even in this situation, he's got the perfect opportunity where the person who the oblation is being given to, who has the right to accept or deny, comes and asks what's wrong. Here's your opportunity to open up and express and get whatever that feeling is out with the individual who's in control. And this is what we're doing. This is how you end up taking out your anger on the wrong person.
This is how that anger is growing. Because when the first part about it, as Yahweh is speaking, and Yahweh asks him a question, why are you angry? He has an opportunity there. We don't hear any other words. What we then hear next are angry actions. Okay? Angry actions are now being taken given into play because there were no words spoken when the question was asked. Why are you angry? Go ahead.
And he said, what have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries unto me from the ground.
So this lets you know that the question was a rhetorical one. Yahweh really didn't need an answer to the question. He's actually giving you an opportunity to come clean. But what we do is we take things down to the wire. We're going to hold up this wall of defense until the wall is completely broken down, believing that Yahweh can't see on the other side of the wall. Your wall is false. No, mortal man can't see behind that little wall. Yahweh already sees past that wall. And when he wants to deal with somebody, he'll let somebody else see behind your wall too. Go ahead.
And now are you cursed from the earth, which has opened her mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. And when you till the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto you her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shall you be in the earth. And Cain said unto Yahweh, my punishment is greater than I can bear.
It says, a fugitive and a vagabond shall you be in the earth. What does a fugitive and a vagabond do? Wander. So you have to wonder if some of those individuals who just wander from place to place, from congregation to congregation, from town to town, you have to wonder if they really do have this spirit of Cain inside of them. Every time you find out they're coming from somewhere else. Which when you ask the adversary, the devil, what did they have a question? Hey man, where you been? Oh, I'm up and down, to and fro. Oh, you got a wandering spirit. Now where have we heard that before? Fugitive and a vagabond. So then you find this spirit of Cain with the spirit of Lucifer. They just like to wander, go here and there. So they spend a little time at this place. Then they find something wrong there. And then they got to go to another place. Well, they found something wrong there. And then you got to go over to this place, where they found something wrong there. Well, they dated this person, but eventually they found something wrong with them. And then they got to date somebody else because, they found something wrong with them. And then, nothing's ever wrong with themselves. I don't know if you noticed that. There's always something wrong at another place in another face. It's never here. It's there. It's all those places. Go ahead.
It's interesting you just said the spirit of Cain. I'm sure you used to watch Kung Fu, right? What was the old boy's name?
Cain.
And what did he do?
Wander. He wandered the earth. And then they gave it to us like it was something great and mysterious. What do you do? I am Cain. I will wander the earth. I mean, he made it sound he was an awesome Kung Fu master, and you just need to wander the earth. His spirit couldn't stay in one place. And they made it seem like it was desirable. Like, man, when I get old, man, I think I'm going to be like Cain. I'm going to wander the earth. Maybe that's why I wanted an RV. Just gonna wander the earth. Go ahead, brother.
Behold, you have driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from your face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that finds me shall slay me.
All right. So then you have all of this that presented itself because of an unaccepted oblation. An unaccepted oblation has now led to a murder. A murder, a lie, a displacement, and even a change of workload. Now he's got to work for the food that he should have been able to just stick his hand in the ground and get. Let's go to Luke chapter 21. Luke chapter 21, and we're going to read verses 1 through 4.
And he looked up, and saw the rich men casting their gifts into the treasury. And he saw also a certain poor widow casting in thither 2 mites. And he said, Of a truth I say unto you, that this poor widow has cast in more than they all.
More than they all. So he's looking at something different. Not the amount of the offering, but he's looking at the percentage then of this based on what she has. So on the outside looking in, it may look like one thing, but he knows what she has. And knowing what she has, he then sees, man, she is giving too much. She done gave all. And that's the thing that we don't understand, even when it's something that we agree to do, whether it be performing a service, whether it be an agreement to give a certain amount. Yahweh knows what we have. He knows what has been given unto us. And when you sit in that seat, there's some things that people have given for an offering and I had to give it back. No, that's too much. You can't afford to give that. Now, that person beside you can afford to give that. You can't afford to give that. I'm giving this back. Go ahead, bro.
For all these have of their abundance cast in onto the offerings of Elohim. But she of her penury has cast in all the living that she had.
All right, so now let's go to Malachi chapter 1. Now, without Yahshua's foresight, what would they have thought when they looked at her little 2 mites? Malachi chapter 1, and let's start at verse 6.
A son honors his father, and a servant his master. If then I be a father, where is mine honor?
If I be a father, where is mine honor? Go ahead.
And if I be a master, where is my fear?
If you don't operate in any fear, you have people who will say all of these things. Praise Yah. They got all of these sayings. Then when it comes down to certain things, where is your fear in operating? How is it that in certain things you are not fearful enough to not let that come out of your mouth? But you'll say all of these nice sayings. We are more than conquerors. And, Abba Yah, and all of these cute little sayings. If he is a father, if he is a master, where's your fear? Fear transforms into respect. Where's your respect? Do you just respect him in word? There's certain things that you ought to be afraid to do. When I was when I was young, there was some guys that lived around the neighborhood. They told me, hey, man, we're going to go to a such and such church. He said, man, it's a lot of pretty girls in there. I said, oh, bro, I don't play like that. And they all just stopped and looked at me. What you mean? Now, they felt real bad. Because at that time, I did the most sin out of all of them. So that threw them off. What you mean you? I said, no. I got a certain amount of things that I do. And that's not one of them. I don't play with God's house. Now, at that time, they like, you have 4 illegal items on you right now. How you gonna scold us about going to look for chicks at God's house? I said, I don't play those kind of games. I know the kind of games I play. I know where I play them at. That's not my playground. Y'all playing a dangerous game. I know what I am. I know what I do. That is a dangerous game. I didn't know nothing about Yahweh then. But I knew I wasn't playing that game. There's a certain amount of fear that should be in you. They didn't see that as a horrible thing. There's certain fear that's in you that you don't even understand yet. I didn't fully understand that at that point. It was only as I got further along in the word and I had to look back and say, man. And it threw them off because they want to know, why you shut up that whole place over there? You wasn't fearful of that? Hey, I wasn't there yet. But I know I ain't doing this right here. Go ahead, brother. You got something?
Very controversial. Jonah was a prophet.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't scared to go the complete opposite way.
Right.
So that's why this whole fear thing to me is like a conundrum, because of course I do have fear of Yahweh, but that man went the complete opposite way. He didn't get destroyed.
No. There's some things that happen. Sometimes fear is a funny thing. When people are dealing with certain things of fear, it all depends on how they're going to deal with it. Some people take off running for everything that they are fearful of. Other people teach you, keep that which you are afraid of in front of you. When I take off running, I have zero power as to the thing that I fear. Because now my back is turned to that I fear. It now has more power over me than I have over it. When I square up with my fear, I see everywhere my fear moving. When it move, I move. When it duck, I duck. Now we can go toe to toe. I might not win, but I'm going to give you hell. I'm going to give you hell. But if I take off running and you catch me from the back, I have zero opportunity in winning that fight. And some of us, that's what fear make us do. Take off running. Every situation, we take off running. We get something good, it's too good. I got to take off running. Pray for something, Yahweh give it to you, you got to find a fault in it. Yeah, but Yahweh, look at that little crusty part on her pinky toe. He gives you the perfect woman. He give you what you asked for. And you looking at a pinky toe? Right. Go ahead, bro.
Saith Yahweh of hosts unto you, O priests that despise my name, and you say, wherein have we despised your name?
Right. They're not going to admit or say that they despise his name. Their actions are going to show that they despise his name. Go ahead.
Malachi chapter 1 and verse 7. You offer polluted bread upon mine altar, and you say, wherein have we polluted you?
When you brought a polluted offering, you have polluted him. What then made the offering polluted? See, the way in which we look at things make us just pay attention to that one thing. But what may indeed have caused your offering, your oblation, whether it be offering of work, what has made this polluted may not be what you have done at that moment. It may be what you did the week before. Wait a minute. So, when you got ready to have your own shindig, you went out and bought steaks. You went and bought this. You went and bought every type of drink. You went and bought drinks that you don't even drink. You like this drink. Yet you bought 4 other drinks so that you can have things for everybody else. Yet when it was time to come to my house, you bought $3 and some high fructose corn syrup. See, it wasn't the $3 and the high fructose corn syrup that made your offering polluted. It is what you did the week before for your own shindig. Now, your $3 and that high fructose corn syrup, that sugar cracked corn that you brought, now it's extremely polluted. Why? Because I saw the multiple levels of things that you did for your own house. The things that you did for your own little shindig. I see all of that. And then you brought that here? And shall I accept that? It ain't what you brought. Had you brought that same or less for them, had when you invited your friends over, you had some high fructose corn syrup and $3 worth of drink, that wouldn't have made what you brought here so polluted. But you polluted what you brought here before you brought it here. Go ahead.
In that you say the table of Yahweh is contemptible. And if you offer the blind for sacrifice, is it not evil?
Is it not evil? Not that it's not accepted. No. He's on another level. It is evil. Go ahead.
And if you offer the lame and sick, is it not evil? Offer it now on to your governor. Will he be pleased with you?
Offer it to regular men and see if they accept it. Why would you think the God of all things is going to accept that? He don't have to accept everything we bring just because we brought it. He don't have to accept every gift of service. Well, I'm going to show up. Yeah, but you didn't show up with the right heart. You should have stayed home. That offering was polluted before you got here because you had a polluted spirit. Go ahead.
Or accept your person, says Yahweh of hosts. And now, I pray you, beseech Elohim that he will be gracious unto us. This has been by your means. Will he regard your persons, says Yahweh of hosts. Who is there even among you that would shut the doors for naught? Neither do you kindle fire on mine altar for naught. I have no pleasure in you, says Yahweh of hosts, neither will I accept an offering at your hand.
I will not accept an offering at your hand. Go ahead.
For from the rising of the sun even unto the going down of the same, my name shall be great among the Gentiles. And in every place incense shall be offered unto my name, and a pure offering. For my name shall be great among the heathen, says Yahweh of hosts. But you have profaned it.
You profane the holy name of Yahweh by the things that we allow to be seen that we do. Go ahead.
In that you say, the table of Yahweh is polluted, and the fruit thereof, even his meat, is contemptible. You said also, behold, what a weariness is it, and you have snuffed at it, says Yahweh of hosts. And you brought that which was torn, and the lame, and the sick. Thus you brought an offering. Should I accept this of your hand, says Yahweh?
Should I accept this just because you brought something? Go ahead.
But cursed be the deceiver, which has in his flock a male, and vows, and sacrifice unto the Adonai a corrupt thing.
All right. Put that same thing in layman's term. Cursed be the deceiver which has in his flock a male, and vows and sacrifices unto Yahweh a corrupt thing. I'm going to keep all the good drinks at home. I'm going to bring the drinks I don't like unto Yahweh. Right. Cursed be the deceiver. Go ahead.
For I am a great king.
You never go before a great king without an offering. The best offering we can have is a humble and a contrite heart. But how does it get that way? Go ahead.
Says Yahweh of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen.
All right, let's go to Leviticus chapter 22. Leviticus 22, and let's start that at verse 1.
And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto Aaron and his sons, that they separate themselves from the holy things of the children of Israel, and that they profane not my holy name in these things which they hallow unto me. I am Yahweh.
Right. Separate themselves from the holy things of the children of Israel. So then these instructions, as you see these other writings and how other people are operating, they're operating from a certain point based on what's written in the law. Go ahead.
Say unto them, Whosoever he be of all your seed among your generations that goes on to the holy things, which the children of Israel hallow unto Yahweh, having his uncleanness upon him, that soul shall be cut off from my presence. I am Yahweh. What man soever of the seed of Aaron is a leper, or has a running issue, he shall not eat of the holy things until he be clean. And whoso touches anything that is unclean by the dead, or a man whose seed goes from him, or whosoever touches any creeping thing, whereby he may be made unclean, or a man of whom he may take uncleanness, whatsoever uncleanness he has. The soul which he has touched, any such shall be unclean until even, and shall not eat of the holy things, unless he wash his flesh with water.
Mm-hmm.
And when
This is another one of those statements of cleanliness is next to godliness. See, unless he washed his flesh with water, he has been separated from holy things. So if you just look for the statement, cleanliness next to godliness, you ain't gonna find that. No, it's these instances where this is being instituted that you understand. Go ahead.
You know, and if the evening come and he ain't wash himself, he's still unclean.
Right.
And when the sun is down, he shall be clean, and shall afterward eat of the holy things, because it is his food.
Right. And this is when the transfer between clean and unclean takes place. Sundown. Yet, you got groups of Hebrews that'll tell you, well, you know, at 6 o'clock, we're going to go to this other place. What the hell happened at 6 o'clock? Well, you know, it'll be the end of the Sabbath. Is it sundown? No. Well, then it ain't the end of the Sabbath then. Where the hell y'all going? Right. Go ahead.
That which dies of itself, or is torn with beasts, he shall not eat to defile himself therewith. I am Yahweh.
And you also understand why we begin to do our holy days and we start at sundown. You look at a lot of these other, some of these other Hebrew, so-called Hebrew organizations, they deal with their things just like Christianity. If they do Pentecost, they're going to do Pentecost on Sunday morning. But they supposed to be Hebrew. Now, ain't no matter what kind of uncleanness they done got into up to that time. But it don't matter either, because they're not keeping anything clean or unclean anyway. Go ahead.
They shall therefore keep mine ordinance, lest they bear sin for it, and die therefore, if they profane it. I, Yahweh, do sanctify them. There shall no stranger eat of the holy thing. A sojourner of the priest, or an hired servant, shall not eat of the holy thing. But if the priest buy any soul with his money, he shall eat of it, and he that is born in his house, they shall eat of his meat. If the priest's daughter also be married unto a stranger, she may not eat of an offering of the holy things. But if the priest's daughter be a widow or divorced, and have no child, and is returned unto her father's house, as in her youth, she shall eat of her father's meat, but there shall no stranger eat thereof. And if a man eat of the holy thing unwittingly, then he shall put the fifth part thereof onto it, and shall give it unto the priest with the holy thing.
Now, that's something, you know, we're not even accustomed to dealing with. You know, we bring home some food. The first thing, you know, your kids want to go through everything that's left over. There's certain things, no. Okay, none of y'all touch this right here. Go ahead.
And they shall not profane the holy things of the children of Israel, which they offer unto Yahweh, or suffer them to bear the lawlessness of trespass when they eat their holy things. for I Yahweh do sanctify them. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto Aaron and to his sons, and unto all the children of Israel, and say unto them, Whatsoever he be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers in Israel, that will offer his oblation for all his vows, and for all his freewill offerings, which they will offer unto Yahweh for a burnt offering, you shall offer at your own will a male without blemish, of the beeves, of the sheep, or of the goats.
So the first thing you have to do is understand enough to know what a blemish is. See, when you look at some people who do something, they are able to figure out certain things. And other people who don't do it, they say, oh, this looks good. Somebody else will look and say, no, man, this thing is blemished. What do you mean? What do you mean? No. There was a repair done right here. I used to hear people getting a little magnet and a piece of paper and run it across cars and, and said, oh, no, you see where that paper dropped? Said, somebody done fixed this right here. Said, that ain't metal no more. Said, this used to be, this is where the metal is, and this is where metal is. See that part in the middle? That ain't metal. They know how to spot a blemish. So then when we're dealing with spiritual things, we have to then learn how to spot a blemish in a sacrifice. We have to learn how to notice a blemish in a work. We might be so happy that somebody has presented some work. Are we able to see there's a blemish in this? Go ahead.
But whatsoever has a blemish, that shall you not offer, for it shall not be acceptable for you.
Mm-hmm.
And whosoever offers a sacrifice of peace offerings unto Yahweh to accomplish his vow, or a freewill offering in beeves or sheep, it shall be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no blemish therein. Blind, or broken, or maimed, or having a wean, or scurvy, or scab, you shall not offer these unto Yahweh, nor make an offering by fire of them upon the altar unto Yahweh. Either a bullock or a lamb that has anything superfluous or lacking in his parts, that may you offer for a freewill offering, but for a vow it shall not be accepted. You shall not offer unto Yahweh that which is bruised, or crushed, or broken, or cut, neither shall you make any offerings thereof in your land.
Mm-hmm.
Neither from a stranger's hand shall you offer the bread of your Elohim of any of these, because their corruption is in them, and blemishes be in them. They shall not be accepted for you.
You got to rattle that one around. Neither from a stranger's hand shall you offer the bread of your Elohim of any of these, because their corruption is in them. So the stranger's corrupted hand touches a perfect sacrifice. The perfect sacrifice then becomes polluted because of the pollution of the stranger. Go ahead.
You know, when you look at these things, these deformities in these animals, they're also reflected on whether you can be accepted to do holy jobs in the priesthood.
Exactly.
Because a person with scurvy, crook back, you can't do certain positions.
Right. You know, then that is a blemish then that is transformed or transferred into the offering itself. Go ahead.
And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, When a bullock or a sheep or a goat is brought forth, then it shall be 7 days under the dam, and from the 8th day and thenceforth it shall be accepted for an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And whether it be cow or ewe, you shall not kill it and her young both in 1 day. And when you will offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving unto Yahweh, offer it at your own will. On the same day it shall be eaten up. You shall leave none of it until the morrow. I am Yahweh. Therefore shall you keep my commandments and do them. I am Yahweh. Neither shall you profane my holy name, but I'll be hallowed among the children of Israel. I am Yahweh which hallow you, that brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your Elohim. I am Yahweh.
Right. Now, and when we look at these things, we have to then consider the operation that was done to completely demoralize Israel. When you talk about this invasion that Titus brought upon Israel in 70 AD, you then find that once he got to that place, he knew, I mean, it was a great battle getting off into the inner part of the sanctuary. And to completely demoralize them, he offered a pig on the holy altar of Yahweh. This was to symbolize his success and their defeat. So you have all of these things that if it's even acceptable offerings or acceptable animals that had lacking parts were not accepted on the altar. Yet he goes and offers an unclean pig on the altar. He's making sure he can demoralize Israel. They're not, even if it wasn't completely knocked down to the bedrock, they wouldn't want another offering coming from that altar because that pig had been on it. And we don't even consider that the heathens study enough of our culture so that they can destroy it adequately. They don't just study it just to study it. And we have to understand, even when this thing began, the Romans announced their arrival by dumping bodies upstream. So all those that were on the coast just watch bodies float down the water. So understand the things in which we're having to deal with here. These are the things that if you don't walk in Yahweh's law, the aggression of the heathen is unmatched. That they are willing to dump dead bodies in the water just so they can float down to the rest of them. Now fear is already in them as they see bodies float down. What are we hearing in that, brother? Let's go to Matthew chapter 5. He need a lesson on whispering.
1,000.
All right, Matthew chapter 5, and we're going to read verses 21 through 24. Matthew 5 and 21 through 24.
Verse 21. You have heard that it was said by them of old time, you shall not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
I say unto you. See, the law says what it says in verse 21. You have heard that it was said by them of old time. Who? Moshe, the law. You shall not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But now this law has been spiritually magnified. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause. And we think we have all manner of causes. If your cause is not backed up by what's written in the law, you don't have a just cause. Well, I don't like them because. Because what? Because. Right. So because got a because. Right. Yeah, that cleared it up. Go ahead.
But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment, and whosoever shall say to his brother, Reka, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, you fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. Therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar, and there remembers that your brother has aught against you.
Now, you remember that he has aught against you because you know the situation that has happened between you. But what people will do is completely ignore that and still bring their gift and lay it right down at the altar, knowing that they haven't fixed another situation. Go ahead.
Leave there your gift before the altar and go your way.
Right. Now, he didn't say take the gift back with you. Because see, that's us. Well, I mean, you know what, I'm going to take the gift and I'm going to go. Well, I couldn't find him, so I just kept nibbling off the gift. And then when I got back, it wasn't no more gift. So I just, right. See, this commits you to taking care of that business. See, there's a certain thing that's done in a certain order for a reason. Leave the gift there. You want me to just leave it? Yeah, I want you to leave it right there by the altar. Yeah, but I ain't gave it to nobody. Right. This gonna make sure that you go take care of that business. Leave the gift right there. Now go take care of the business and then come back. See, Yahweh know his people. No, don't take the gift with you. You ain't coming back. You think Yahweh that? You think he made these people and don't know him? Oh, he know his people. No, I'll make sure you coming back. That's what they say. You coming back with it? Oh yeah, I'll be right back. Okay. Leave such and such here. Oh, I know you're coming back now. Yeah, well, I just got to run home to go get some. All right. Well, leave Sugar Bear right here. Hey, let Sugar Bear sit right there. There you go, Sugar Booger, sit right there. I know he coming back now. I know he coming back now. He gonna be back. Go ahead.
First be reconciled to your brother, and then come and offer your gift.
First be reconciled unto your brother. So then the issue that you have with your brother that you have not cleared up, then now makes your oblation unacceptable. It's not that your gift is not enough. It's not that, oh, you should have gave more. No. See, there's multiple reasons why an oblation could be unaccepted. Let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 6. Second Samuel chapter 6, and we're going to start that at verse 1.
Again, Dawid gathered together all the chosen men of Israel, 30,000. And Dawid arose and went with all the people that were with him from Baal of Yehudah to bring up from thence the ark of Elohim, whose name is called by the name of Yahweh of hosts, that dwells between the cherubims.
Right. So then you have situations and circumstances that have come upon Israel that the ark has been taken. And all of these things need to be returned. Go ahead.
And they set the ark of Elohim upon a new cart.
Now, it was set upon a new cart because the last people had it on a cart. So then their thought process is we're going to put it on a new thing, but the same thing that is on. Go ahead.
And brought it out of the house of Abinadab that was in Gibeah. And Uzzah and Ahio, the sons of Abinadab, drave the new cart. And they brought it out of the house of Abinadab, which was at Gibeah, accompanying the ark of Elohim, and Ahio went before the ark. And Dawid and all the house of Israel played before Yahweh on all manner of instruments made of fir wood, even on harps, and on psalteries, and on timbrels, and on cornets, and on cymbals.
So they have put forth great effort in showing fear and respect unto Yahweh. But then there's this situation of showing fear and respect according to as it is written. Go ahead.
And when they came to Nashon's threshing floor, Uzzah put forth his hand to the ark of Elohim, and took hold of it, for the oxen shook it. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against Uzzah, and Elohim smote him there for his error. And there he died by the ark of Elohim.
And you have to understand that putting your hand to something is synonymous with changing it, and that's the seat of Yahweh. You don't touch the seat of Yahweh. Go ahead.
And Dawid was displeased, because Yahweh had made a breach upon Uzzah, and he called the name of the place Perez Uzzah to this day. And Dawid was afraid of Yahweh that day, and said, how shall the ark of Yahweh come to me?
Right. Sometimes there comes a situation where you might have to pause until you can figure out how you angered Yahweh. Some of us are just so bullheaded that we just gonna keep going. Somebody replace him. Let's keep on going forward. Sometimes it does become necessary for you to abandon your current course of action until you can meditate on what was the real reason of our failure. See, I was always taught that the definition of insanity is trying the exact same thing, but yet accepting a different result. Well, what happened when you ran into that wall? Man, I passed out. So what you gonna do tomorrow? I'm gonna run into the wall faster. Oh. You know what's probably gonna happen? You're gonna pass out faster. Go ahead.
So Dawid would not remove the ark of Yahweh onto him into the city of Dawid.
Right. There's absolutely nothing wrong with pausing a situation until you can figure out, okay, is this an error? Sometimes pride makes you keep going. There's a man that has lost his life here. We need to figure this out. Go ahead.
You know, this is the perfect situation to let pride want you to keep going, because he got a whole band. You got everybody there with you.
Band. I mean, they playing music, they doing everything, and don't nobody want to stop the marching band. Go ahead.
But Dawid carried it aside into the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. And the ark of Yahweh continued in the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite 3 months.
Okay, this is meditation. We ended up getting a question about meditation. Sometimes meditation don't happen all in one. You might be meditating on one thing for quite some time. Sometimes meditation also means you got to go study something. He's got to figure out why Yahweh, because isn't it a good thing to bring home the ark? Now he's got to meditate on, let's put down everything we did. Now let's try to figure out which one of these actions angered our Elohim. But see, what we do, we keep hearing, we watch television and then people say, God spoke to me last night. 3 months this thing has been sitting over here. He's got to figure out, before he can feel comfortable getting all these people back together, he needs to figure out what was the error. So his meditation is just not, sitting around and humming. His meditation is, now, what does the law say about this thing? Go ahead.
And it was...
Okay. Go ahead.
The house of Obed-Edom into the city of Dawid, let's verse 12. Actually, the end of verse 11. And the ark of Yahweh continued in the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite 3 months. And Yahweh blessed Obed-Edom and all his household.
So then, look at the mind screw. They got killed for trying to bring it home wrong, drop it off somewhere else, and they getting blessed. But we still waiting for somebody to come float down the hall and tell us. No, there's certain things that you're going to have to meditate and pray. What did it say? Hey, there's certain spirits that only come out by prayer and fasting. You can call that demon out all you want. It ain't coming out. I done set up shop in here. The only way it's coming out of here is prayer and fasting. Go ahead.
I'm still looking at this situation and laughing. Because if he just went for it, it's 30,000, okay? We got to get it there. You know, with 10,000 of y'all drop dead.
You know? But this also shows the care of this individual. If it was just about what he wanted, he could have kept replacing the dead man with another man. Here, but you're dealing with somebody who would go and fight a bear or a lion for a little sheep. So he's not interested in to just keep going forward, because he got enough to keep dying off. It might not be before people in Israel, but he'll get the ark back. Go ahead.
And it was told King Dawid, saying, Yahweh has blessed the house of Obed-Edom and all that pertains unto him, because of the ark of Elohim.
Mm-hmm.
So Dawid went and brought up the ark of Elohim from the house of Obed-Edom into the city of Dawid with gladness.
So now, you have to look at each part of this. It was told Dawid, saying Yahweh has blessed the house of Obed-Edom. At this point, he must have already done figured out what he did wrong, but he's still scared. See? Now when somebody say that they're getting blessed, all right, I gotta move. Sometimes the meditation is done. Now you need some other help to motivate your meditate. See, I heard a brother tell a story about when another brother got his motorcycle and he was scared to ride it. Kind of the same thing happened to me. When I first got my motorcycle, I was scared to get on. A friend of mine was like, well, I'm gonna get. I said, no, man, don't ride my bike. I ain't ready to ride my bike, and I ain't ready to see nobody else ride my bike either. Don't ride my bike. He said, I ain't gonna ride it. I just want to sit on it. I said, but you look like you sitting comfortably. Then he said, I just want to, let me listen to it. I said, I don't like the way this is going. So then he crunk it up. I said, oh man, that sounds good, don't it? I said, man, don't ride my bike. I said, man, look, it's drizzling, it's about to rain. I said, man, don't ride my bike. I'm really scared. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling him, man, don't ride my bike, don't ride my He takes off on my bike. I'm so mad I don't know what to do. He come around the block and he get off my bike. He said, well, it's raining. I know you ain't want to get on. I said, get the hell out the way. I'm getting on my bike. I rode my bike right there in the rain. You just gonna ride my bike? You think I ain't finna ride my bike? I don't care if I fall in this rain. I'm riding because you done rode my bike. What's wrong with him? But I needed some motivation for my meditation. You understand? I was just sitting there staring at the bike, you know? Right. But when he got on it, I got some motivation. Right. Sometimes Yahweh do that to you. Go ahead.
And it was so that when they that bear the ark of Yahweh had gone 6 paces, he sacrificed oxen and fatlings.
He going all out with this thing. He going all out with this thing. So understand, if you fail big. Because everybody watching. And if you talking about 30,000 there, think about them 30,000 going to tell 30 more thousand. You ain't got to worry about Facebook and Twitter. We got it all covered. 60,000 going to know by tonight if this don't go well.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. He's supposed to be the king. Look at that. Mm-hmm. All these people dead out here trying to bring that thing in here. Mm-hmm.
Oh, they going to all know that by tonight. Ain't nobody sleeping. Go ahead.
You know, and as you can see from one thing to the next, if you just look at how it's being carried at this point, it says, and it was so that when they that bear the ark, not that it's sitting on the cart.
Right. That lets you know he done figured out his error. See? He has figured out his error. But even after he figured it out, he still needed some motivation. Go ahead.
And Dawid danced before Yahweh with all his might.
Some of us, after we done failed, we can't dance.
The last time a man died, I'm not finna dance.
No. We're going to put that behind us. We got to move forward. Go ahead.
And Dawid was girded with a linen ephod. So Dawid and all the house of Israel brought up the ark of Yahweh with shouting and with the sound of the trumpet.
Now, you know he had to convince these people to do this too, right? Because let me tell you something about Israel. All it takes is one of us to suffer something. You know we passed that around.
You know, the last person died doing it. You sure this is what God want us to do? Did he speak to you? Did the Spirit expressly say to you, go get the ark? Because I think the ark is fine where it is. Understand, he's got to make it past all of this. And he's putting his reputation on the line doing this. There's no part where you see Yahweh come and tell him. There's a lot of situations where it'd be like, all right, we're going to go up to battle. Yahweh, will you protect us? The Spirit says, you will be protected. Go up to battle. He is gathering all of these people. What conversation have we heard? See, when we keep listening to people talking about God talk to them, that is helping them feel secure. Yahweh gonna make you do some things without saying jack to you. Go ahead.
You know, how many people is told, no, you're going to have to bear the ark. No, bro, I don't want nothing touching that's touching the ark.
Right. Now, are they scared? And where were the people whose job this was? How is it that they wasn't already arguing when it was on the cart? Hey, man, that ain't how that thing's supposed to be carried. Why are we carrying that like that? See, this is no kingdom benefits from having a bunch of yes men. No kingdom benefits from that. No place benefits from that. Because if we end up getting out of line, I may be the first one that Yahweh gonna deal with, but guess what? Oh, he coming for y'all too. So where y'all was when the brother had the pig on the altar? Where was y'all? Well, we was standing in the back, Yahweh saying, damn. Right. And that's where y'all gonna be standing, in the back. I'm about to deal with this. Oh no, don't think you're gonna escape. No place or kingdom benefits from a bunch of yes men. Go ahead, bro.
And as the ark of Yahweh came into the city of Dawid, Michal, Saul's daughter, looked through a window and saw King Dawid leaping and dancing before Yahweh, and she despised him in her heart. And they brought in the ark of Yahweh and set it in his place in the midst of the tabernacle that Dawid had pitched for it. And Dawid offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before Yahweh. And as soon as Dawid had made an end of offering burnt offerings and peace offerings, he blessed the people in the name of Yahweh of hosts. And he dealt among all the people, even among the whole multitude of Israel, as well to the women as men, to everyone a cake of bread, and a good piece of flesh, and a flagon of wine.
He want to make this joyful for everybody. This is something all Israel is going to remember. You remember when the king had us go down there and we went and got the ark and we all got drunk? Y'all remember that? He gave everybody, gave away a bottle. I had my own bottle. Normally we share a bottle. They going to remember this forever. Go ahead.
So all the people departed, everyone to his house. Then Dawid returned to bless his household. And Michal, the daughter of Saul, came out to meet Dawid and said, how glorious was the king of Israel today.
You know, you can hear minty freshness in a woman's voice from a mile away. The words may sound good, but you can hear the minty fresh. Normally, you know you're in trouble when you get to the house and your woman say your whole name.
Well, shalom, Esaac ben Israel.
Oh, damn, what I done done. Now your mind is going, what all I do? What either something I did or something I didn't do. It's something I'm trying to figure this out. Because why is my whole name flying out of her mouth? Go ahead, bro.
Who uncovered himself today in the eyes of the handmaids of his servants, as one of the vain fellows shamelessly uncovers himself. And Dawid said unto Michal, it was before Yahweh, which chose me before your father.
And that's part of the indignation already. See,
My daddy used to be the king. Now I'm just married to the king.
go ahead.
And before all his house, to appoint me ruler over the people of Yahweh, over Israel. Therefore I will play before Yahweh.
Stop. I'm going to worship, serve, and even have a good time before my Elohim. What we do, we separate our good time. See, we're going to have a good time over here, and we're going to serve over here. Right. Go ahead.
And I'll yet be more vile than dust, and will be based in mine own sight. And of my maidservants, which you have spoken of them shall I be had in honor.
Right. The maidservants that you're talking about, oh, they're going to see me gloriously. Why are you talking? Go ahead.
Therefore Michal, the daughter of Saul, had no child unto the day of her death.
No child for him unto the day of her death because of this indignation. Let's go to 1 Chronicles chapter 15. And we're going to start that at verse 11.
And Dawid called for Zadok and Abiathar the priests, and for the Levites, for Uriel, Asaiah, and Joel, Shemaiah, and Eliel, and Amminadab, and said unto them, You are the chief of the fathers of the Levites. Sanctify yourselves, both you and your brethren, that you may bring up the ark of Yahweh Elohim of Israel onto the place that I have prepared for it. For because you did it not at the first, Yahweh our Elohim made a breach upon us, for that we sought him not after the due order.
Stop. Even though he was trying to do a good thing and going to get the ark, you can see from his own lips, everything after that, hey, sanctify yourself that you may move this thing. Because you got to, think about, after a certain point, the ark wasn't continuously being moved no more. So at some point, we forget certain regulations. Now he's very well understanding on how this thing is supposed to move. And he admits what their problem was. Because I didn't call y'all to move it. Because I didn't call y'all to move this thing the right way, Yahweh was angry with us. So then you have to wonder, what moves might we make that Yahweh might get angry with us? Something might happen and we don't even know that that's Yahweh's anger. The minute I got ready to open the door and the whole door fell in on top of me. Might be something we done. Go ahead.
When you look at it, we know that Yahweh also commanded for the king to have a writing of the book. And when you research, you don't see where Dawid actually went to anybody else. So like you were saying, there's that time of meditation. Dawid then calls them all together and say, hey man, this is what y'all was supposed to be doing. Well, how come they didn't know it, like you said before? So we see the importance of the king also having to know all sides of the job.
The difference in that situation, sometimes people know, they just won't speak. See, that's where the difference is. See, a lot of people talk that word. Then when it comes time to have a situation where, all right, this is what we're going to do, you find people don't say a word. Then when the stuff hit the fan, then you find out, well, look, you knew such and such. Why didn't you open your mouth? Go ahead.
So the priests and the Levites sanctified themselves to bring up the ark of Yahweh, Elohim of Israel. And the children of the Levites bear the ark of Elohim upon their shoulders with the staves thereon, as Moshe commanded according to the word of Yahweh.
Now he's making sure the children of the Levites bear the ark of Elohim upon their shoulders with the staves thereon, according to the law. So his meditation was not just about meditating. It is about, all right, this particular thing. Let's go and read everything about this thing so that I can meditate on how the operation of it is supposed to take place. Go ahead.
And Dawid spake to the chief of the Levites to appoint their brethren to be the singers with instruments of music, psalteries, and harps and cymbals, sounding by lifting up the voice with joy. So the Levites appointed Heman, the son of Yoel, and of his brethren, Asaph, the son of Berechiah, and of the sons of Merari, their brethren, Ethan, the son of Cushiah. And with them, their brethren of the second degree, Zechariah, Ben, and Yaziel, and Shemiramoth, and Yahiel, and Ani, Eliab, and Benaiah, and Messiah, and Mattathiah, and Elipheleh, and Mechaniah, and Obed-Edom, and Yael, the porters. So the singers, Heman, Asaph, and Ethan, were appointed to sound with cymbals of brass. And Zechariah, and Aziel, and Shemiramoth, and Yahiel, and Ani, and Eliab, and Messiah, and Benaiah, with psalteries on Elamoth.
All right, jump to verse 25. So you also have to get out of that the singers are priests. I don't think people really consider that part of how this is happening. That this has been an ordained job appointed to the priesthood. Go ahead.
So Dawid and the elders of Israel and the captains over thousands went to bring up the ark of the covenant of Yahweh out of the house of Obed-Edom with joy. And it came to pass, when Elohim helped the Levites that bear the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, that they offered 7 bullocks and 7 rams. And Dawid was clothed with a robe of fine linen, and all the Levites that bear the ark, and the singers, and Caniah, the master of the song, with the singers.
All right, that's as far as I want to go there. I just wanted to read the other account of that. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 8. Leviticus chapter 8, and let's start that at verse 1.
And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Take Aaron and his sons with him, and the garments, and the anointing oil, and a bullock for the sin offering, and 2 rams, and a basket of unleavened bread. And gather you all the congregation together unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Moshe did as Yahweh commanded him, and the assembly was gathered together unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Moshe said unto the congregation, This is the thing which Yahweh commanded to be done. And Moshe brought Aaron and his sons and washed them with water.
Moshe brought Aaron and his sons and washed them with water. Go ahead.
And he put upon him the coat, and girded him with the girdle, and clothed him with the robe, and put the ephod upon him. And he girded him with the curious girdle of the ephod, and bound it onto him therewith.
So now he's putting specific clothing upon them. See, this is consecration for the job. Go ahead.
And he put the breastplate upon him. Also he put in the breastplate the Urim and the Thummim. And he put the mitre upon his head.
He put the mitre upon his head. He has a head covering. Now you find all of these people that walk around the street and their whole little party gear get up, but they keep forgetting the head cover. They done went and got them a costume, but they don't understand. Wait a minute, you went through all of that. I mean, they got on breastplates, they got on everything except the head cover. Now they get the whole outfit from the Old Testament, but then go to the New Testament and take off the head cover. Go ahead.
Also upon the mitre, even upon his forefront, did he put the golden plate, the holy crown, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And Moshe took the anointing oil and anointed the tabernacle and all that was therein, and sanctified them. And he sprinkled thereof upon the altar 7 times, and anointed the altar and all his vessels, both the laver and his foot, to sanctify them. And he poured of the anointing oil upon Aaron's head, and anointed him to sanctify him. And Moshe brought Aaron's sons, and put coats upon them, and girded them with girdles, and put bonnets upon them, as Yahweh commanded Moshe.
So then they have head coverings as well. That's what a bonnet is. Go ahead.
And he brought the bullock for the sin offering, And Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the bullock for the sin offering. And he slew it, and Moshe took the blood and put it upon the horns of the altar round about with his finger, and purified the altar, and poured the blood at the bottom of the altar, and sanctified it, to make reconciliation upon it. And he took all the fat that was upon the inwards, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and their fat, and Moshe burnt it upon the altar. But the bullock, and his hide, his flesh, and his dung, he burnt with fire without the camp, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he brought the ram for the burnt offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram. And he killed it, and Moshe sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. And he cut the ram into pieces, and Moshe burnt the head, and the pieces, and the fat. And he washed the inwards and the legs in water, and Moshe burnt the whole ram upon the altar. It was a burnt sacrifice for a sweet savor, and an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he brought the other ram, the ram of consecration, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram. And he slew it, and Moshe took of the blood of it, and put it upon the tip of Aaron's right ear, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. And he brought Aaron's sons, and Moshe put of the blood upon the tip of their right ear, and upon the thumbs of their right hands, and upon the great toes of their right feet. And Moshe sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. And he took the fat, and the rump, and all the fat that was upon the inwards, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and their fat, and the right shoulder. And out of the basket of unleavened bread that was before Yahweh, he took 1 unleavened cake, and a cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer, and put them on the fat, and upon the right shoulder. And he put all upon Aaron's hands, and he put upon his sons' hands, and waved them for a wave offering before Yahweh. And Moshe took them from off their hands, and burnt them on the altar upon the burnt offering. They were consecrations for sweet savor. It is an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And Moshe took the breast, and waved it for a wave offering before Yahweh. For of the ram of consecration it was Moshe's part, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And Moshe took of the anointing oil, and of the blood which was upon the altar, and sprinkled it upon Aaron, and upon his garments, and upon his sons' garments with him, and sanctified Aaron and his garments, and his sons' garments with him. And Moshe said unto Aaron and to his sons, Boil the flesh at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and there eat it with the bread that is in the basket of consecrations, as I commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it. And that which remains of the flesh and of the bread shall you burn with fire. And you shall not go out of the door of the tabernacle of the congregation in 7 days, until the days of your consecration be at an end. For 7 days shall he consecrate you. And as he has done this day, so Yahweh commanded to do, to make an atonement for you. Therefore shall you abide at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation day and night, 7 days, and keep the charge of Yahweh, that you die not, for so I commanded. So Aaron and his sons did all things which Yahweh commanded by the hand of Moshe.
So then these things have now consecrated them for service. So now let's go to Leviticus chapter 10, and we're going to start that at verse 1.
And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer, and put fire therein, and put incense thereon, and offered strange fire before Yahweh, which he commanded them not.
Right. He did not command them to do this. This is something that they took upon themselves to do. This is where sometimes we get ourselves in a little bit of trouble, when we take it upon ourselves to do something because it just, kind of fits the moment. Go ahead.
And there went out fire from Yahweh, and devoured them, and they died before Yahweh.
Right, so they offered strange fire, and he gave them back fire. Go ahead.
Then Moshe said unto Aaron, This is it that Yahweh spake, saying, I will be sanctified in them that come near me, and before all the people I'll be glorified. And Aaron held his peace.
Now, understand, Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron. Now, they done got burnt up. Aaron still has to conduct himself a certain way. See, this is where Yahweh draws the line between servants and between those who will serve themselves of him, because they can't seem to allow anything to happen to their family. Everything is about their family. Now, here's something happening to two of his sons, and he still has to carry himself a certain way. Go ahead.
And Moshe called Mishael and Elzaphan, the sons of Uzziel, the uncle of Aaron, and said unto them, Come near, carry your brethren from before the sanctuary out of the camp. So they went near and carried them in their coats out of the camp, as Moshe had said. And Moshe said unto Aaron, and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar, his sons, Uncover not your heads, neither rend your clothes, lest you die.
Check that out. I understand that your folks just got killed. I understand that two of your sons is gone. But you better not take your head covering off. Go ahead.
And lest wrath come upon all the people. But let your brethren, the whole house of Israel, bewail the burning which Yahweh has kindled.
You let them mourn. Go ahead.
And you shall not go out from the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, lest you die. For the anointing oil of Yahweh is upon you. And they did according to the word of Moshe.
Right. And this has to be a very difficult conversation for Moshe to even have with his brother. He just lost two nephews. Go ahead.
And Yahweh spake unto Aaron, saying, Do not drink wine nor strong drink, you nor your sons with you, when you go into the tabernacle of the congregation, lest you die. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations. And that you may put difference between holy and unholy, and between unclean and clean.
Right. They had a job to do. He said, you separate yourself from unholy things. Least you turn around and blame the wine for some decisions that you make. Go ahead.
And that you may teach the children of Israel all the statutes which Yahweh has spoken unto them by the hand of Moshe. And Moshe spake unto Aaron, and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar, his sons that were left. Take the meat offering that remains of the offerings of Yahweh made by fire, and eat it without leaven inside the altar, for it is most holy. And you shall eat it in the holy place, because it is your due, and your sons' due, of the sacrifices of Yahweh made by fire, for so I am commanded. And the wave breast and heave shoulder shall you eat in a clean place, you and your sons, and your daughters with you, for they be your due, and your sons' due, which are given out of the sacrifices of peace offerings of the children of Israel. The heave shoulder and the wave breast shall they bring with the offerings made by fire of the fat, to wave it for a wave offering before Yahweh. And it shall be yours and your sons with you, by a statute forever, as Yahweh has commanded. And Moshe diligently sought the goat of the sin offering.
He diligently sought the goat of the sin offering. Go ahead.
And behold, it was burnt.
So then he's looking at these things. Well, wait a minute now. It's supposed to be burnt when you don't eat it. All right. Well, wait a minute. Why? What's happening here? Go ahead.
And he was angry with Eleazar and Ithamar, the sons of Aaron, which were left alive.
Now, this, whenever your sons are defined by that are left alive, it's probably some serious business that has gone haywire when that is how your sons are being described. You know, the ones that was left. Go ahead.
Saying, Wherefore have you not eaten the sin offering in the holy place, seeing it is most holy?
This is the law. Okay? He's angry because they didn't eat it. Now, here comes that thing where you have to deal in this gray area at times, and you have to make that decision. See, there is the law, there's the situation and circumstance, and then there's the intention of man's heart. See, it's that gray area that we're going to have some issues. But you got to make that decision. Here we go. Thus says the law, Moshe is angry. They didn't perform it. Now, you got to think about what has gone through their mind. Two of their brothers just did some stuff and got, they ended up crispy like that chicken that be at the BP station down there. They got crispy crunchy. All right? So they already got that going on in their head. They're not trying to be crispy or crunchy. Because that's his two brothers' name now, crispy and crunchy. All right? So they trying their best not to be crispy or crunchy. And now here come this situation. Now Moshe mad. So they like, boy, we surrounded on all ends. I got Moshe mad. I got crispy and crunchy gone. This is a lot they have to deal with. Go ahead.
And Elohim has given it you to bear the lawlessness of the congregation.
Now what he's giving them is the law. All right? Go ahead.
To make atonement for them before Yahweh. Behold, the blood of it was not brought in within the holy place. You should indeed have eaten it in the holy place, as I commanded. And Aaron said unto Moshe,
Now,
behold, this day have they offered their sin offering and their burnt offering before Yahweh, and such things have befallen me. And if I had eaten the sin offering today, should it have been accepted in the sight of Yahweh?
Now he got to bring forth another law. Had I eaten it, yes, I could have done this for the appearance of it. Then everybody would have seen the appearance of me eating this and doing that. But because something has befallen me today, maybe I had some thoughts I shouldn't have had. But something has befallen me. If I had eaten it, would it have been accepted? Go ahead.
And when Moshe heard that, he was content.
In other words, Moshe left him alone at that point. But that's that area where a decision has to be made. There's the law, and then there's the situation and circumstance that is before us. He had to then understand, okay, this is a law I can't keep because I got to keep this law. If I just go forward with doing this, somebody's offering is not going to be accepted. I'm not going to be accepted. That's some things that we have to consider. But let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 15.
You know, brother, even in that situation with talking with Aaron, thinking about all that Aaron already had going on, and Moshe coming at him, if that brother just say, okay, man, I got it, man. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it next time. And not speak up and explain the situation. Right. Just go through it the next time. And it would have been a defiled situation.
And even in that thing, a lot of times we want to keep a lot of things to ourselves. We make the decision afterward, and or we let the rest come out afterward. And then it's at that point, let the hair go with the hide. We don't really want to talk to anybody when we're getting ready to make a decision because we don't want nobody to talk us out of it. But the bottom line is, here it is. He has to now say that something has befallen him. You have to ask, how many people would have just went on and ate it because they don't want to say, well, you know, I had a situation. Because I don't want, if I say something, I'm going to have to talk about my situation. And I don't want to talk about my situation, so I'm just going to go ahead and eat it. First Corinthians chapter 15, and we're going to read verses 1 through 10.
Moreover, brethren, I declare unto you the gospel which I preached unto you, which also you have received, and wherein you stand, by which also you are saved, if you keep in memory what I preached unto you, unless you have believed in vain. For I delivered unto you first of all that which I also received, how that the Mashiach died for our sins according to the Scriptures, and that he was buried, and that he rose again the third day according to the Scriptures, and that he was seen of Cephas, then of the 12. After that, he was then seen of above 500 brethren at once, of whom the greater part remain unto this present, but some are fallen asleep. After that, he was seen of Jacob, then of all the apostles. And last of all, he was seen of me also, as of one born out of due time. For I am the least of the apostles.
I am the least of the apostles. So, understanding certain things, he then understands that for his oblation to be accepted, he's going to have to do a little bit more. Go ahead.
That I'm not meet to be called an apostle, because I persecuted the church of Elohim.
Because I persecuted the church of Elohim, I know what I did before. So the work that I do has to be on a different level. Keep reading.
But by the grace of Elohim I am what I am, and his grace which was bestowed upon me was not in vain. But I labored more abundantly than they all.
I labored more abundantly than they all. Why? Because I did more dirt than they did. See, what's an acceptable oblation for them ain't going to be accepted for me. He know what I did. I know what I did. Some of y'all don't remember what you did. Go ahead.
Yet not I, but the grace of Elohim which was with me.
All right. That is all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.